I know y'all are probably sick about hearing the benefits of cold plunging from every self-help and fitness influencer on social media. It's gotten to the point where it's become cliche. But I want to talk about a benefit of cold plunging that none of them ever really talk about. I've never really heard anyone talk about it. And that is not the momentary bliss and dopamine that you get from cold plunging in that moment, but rather the cold tolerance that you get in the winter months following a season of cold plunging. It's a very brisk February morning here in Salem, New Hampshire, 45 minutes north of Boston. And before I started cold plunging a year and a half ago, I would have dreaded this sort of weather, okay? Now I take it right on the chin. I kind of enjoy it. I wear a lot less layers. I have a lot less pain in my hands, in my feet, in my face, and less chills in my body as a result of the cold weather. I think there's two components to how cold plunging improves cold tolerance in the winter. Number one is anatomical. I think the body itself changes, whether it's brown fat or whether it's just neurological rewiring to make you so that you're less sensitive to the cold and have less discomfort and pain as a result of the cold. Because, dude, cold weather is actually painful. It's not just a matter of discomfort. I mean, your hands and toes often feel like they've been bludgeoned with a hammer. That's the sensation that you get when your hands go numb from the cold. And so there's a lot less of that now for me after a year and a half of cold plunging. I think the bigger component, though, is psychological. Before I cold plunged, I would perceive cold weather as hurting me. Now I perceive cold weather as curing me. I see it as a kind of medicine. Instead of the discomfort making me feel like I'm dying, I see the discomfort as a kind of healthy stress, and I lean into it so that, yes, there is some physical discomfort, but my mind is not doubling on the discomfort by experiencing a kind of mental suffering. The Buddha talked about the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is like getting shot with an arrow, he says. Suffering is removing the arrow and then continually stabbing yourself with it over and over again. The suffering is the choice. It's the mental component. You can have pain without suffering. And that's really the essence of what cold plunging does to you with regards to winter cold tolerance. Yes, you have some pain, although less, but you have no suffering. You embrace the cold and you think of it like, okay, me being out in this cold weather is kind of like cold plunging. It's going to give me happy chemicals. My body can handle it. Also, when you go into cold water and you submerge in that cold water, cold air becomes a joke. You learn that if I can sit for 3 minutes in water in the, let's say, the low 50s even, which is not that cold, but it feels damn cold, then being in the air, which is much slower at removing heat from your body, is nothing. So it gives you a whole paradigm shift with regards to how much you believe you can handle when it comes to cold. And just to wrap up, it's life-changing to be able to enjoy cold weather living in a place like Massachusetts. So many people leave Massachusetts because of the cold weather. We call them snowbirds. December comes around, usually they wait out the holidays here in Massachusetts with their families, and then people fly out to their Florida house and they stay there until April. I mean, people really hate the cold so much that it alters their decision about where they want to live. So many people leave Massachusetts permanently because of the cold. They move south to the Carolinas, to Florida, to wherever. To be able to flip that on its head and actually enjoy the coldness of Massachusetts is a huge quality of life improvement for 4 months of the year, from, let's say, November through March, 5 months even. So, I've been building a house this year, and I thought the house was going to be finished sometime around Halloween last October. It didn't. Of course, projects like that always take twice as long as you would expect. So I've been forced to be outside working on this project from, November, December, January, now February, and it has been a joy, to be honest. I love being outside in the cold, sunny weather, whereas in 2015, I worked from October through December as an electrician. And electricians, when you rough a house, there's no insulation, there's no heat, so it's cold as a motherfucker. I actually quit that job in the first week of January because I couldn't handle the cold, especially in my hands. It was too painful. My hands would get red and swollen, and it seemed injured from the cold, and I just couldn't take it, and I quit the job. Now I've been doing a lot of that kind of work with no problem. I find that my hands actually, they at first get cold and numb, and then after a while they settle in and they actually warm up. And I believe that ability to adapt to the cold is a direct result of me cold plunging pretty much every day during the summer. In the morning after my workout, I'll go in my cold plunge, which I built in the summer of 2022. I keep it at around between 50 and 55 degrees, and it's had all of these tremendous benefits for me with regards to cold tolerance in the winter. So, hope y'all enjoyed that. Remember, point being, cold plunging is beneficial not just in the moment, but also in the winter months, long after you stopped actually going in the plunge. Changes your body in a very deep way and in a positive way. Makes you much more durable, strong, and cold tolerant. All right? I'll check y'all soon. Peace out.